as the rate of suicide seems to rise among youth due to the exposure of social media, as reports of community violence seem to increase across daily headlines, as our families continue to experience the anguish of the loss of life gone too soon. The work of the 100 Black Men of America Incorporated is needed now more than ever.
Oftentimes we don't completely understand the impact that either words or actions have on individuals, and particularly on young people, because we don't see a physical injury or a physical bruise or pain or something bleeding to really think that there's been a real damage, but we missed a lot of the emotional damage.
The 100 Black Men's work of changing the trajectory of the future of our communities, one mentee at a time, by addressing those invisible scars, can be exemplified in the story of Kenneth Harris II.
I went through a spell of having to deal with things by scratching my head in middle school. And at the end of the day, I had a bald spot. And that caused for a lot of jokes, caused for a lot of attention, unwanted attention, so to say.
For Kenneth, the challenge of not fitting in as a minority in his school, coupled with the stress of a new stepfather in the home, seemed unbearable at a critical age in his life.
12. I mean, my mom had, been abused. I had seen my mom pushed. I had seen my mom have a gentleman arrested, but after a few days, he was back. It happened again, he was back. You don't get that, you don't understand that. I told my mom I hated her on a piece of paper.
During some of his darkest days, Kenneth found solace and some semblance of normalcy after becoming a mentee within the South Metro chapter of 100 Black Men of America, where he eventually began to understand some of his behavioral issues and that of his peers.
I remember one time he was contemplating not only suicide, but he was going through a lot of anxieties. I told him, I gave him my cell number, and I said, you can call me 24/7. Well, it became 28/9, but it was okay.
And once I started seeing myself that way from the other side, it was just like, okay, Kenneth, you actually do have the power to dictate whether this is going to be a good day or not. And that's just by how you think.
It was like, at one time he was drowning, we threw him a life preserver. And that life preserver was surrounded with all the things he needed: mental stability, love, God, growing up to be a man and being a leader and making his own decisions.
Through decades of developing leaders, the 100's work is one of sustained dedication to mentorship, education, economic empowerment, and an active health and wellness program, encouraging physical health, complemented by the mental and spiritual support necessary to cope in the face of familial and societal challenges.
You can sense the hurt and the pain that they're dealing and wrestling with. It makes it for us want to double down more in terms of how do we find a way to reach out and to connect with the young people who are having those kinds of challenges.
Doubling down includes addressing the PTSD-type symptoms faced by Black youth living on the front line of daily battles in their communities.
We know epidemiologic studies have proven that people who are better educated, people who have secure housing, people who have employment, people who have access to medical care, all live significantly longer and enjoy dramatically better lives than those people who are unemployed, who live in violent neighborhoods. Your zip code really predicts what your health profile is going to be.
With nearly 100 chapters across the globe, the work of the 100 Black Men of America has grown deep roots in the development of solutions to issues plaguing neighborhoods and youth served since 1963.
We need to find ways to ensure that any young person in our nation who wants to really maximize their potential has a system where they can get that support. It starts in our school systems, It starts in our communities.
From the opening of schools,
I like the 100 Academy because I love the learning, I love the way they teach the learning, I like the math, the language arts, I like everything about the school.
2, hosting the Authentic Voices Tour, assessing the state of education across the country.
We are coming in here to continue to gather solutions that are going to help us collectively as a family, right, to take care of these babies. They need us.
All the stuff that I hold in, I get to release on Wednesdays because, like, when something happened, I can tell them what happened and they won't get mad. They will listen and tell me how to deal with what's going on that day.
And as we look over the history of our country, we've known that the best men have been those that gave of themselves, sacrificing of their talents and their skills and their resources. So that's what the 100 is about.
The 100 is doing the work, protecting the very possibility of future success of underserved, underrepresented youth by addressing the social ills of today.
Police brutality and excessive force, when you look at the cause, not the effect, the cause is economic imbalance in that community and disparity. Our people are not participating in the full American dream.
One of the conversations we're having right now is if we can get this agreement done, the communities that we select, not only will we be doing forums and conversations with the police officers and the community, et cetera, but police departments in those areas will get 1,000 body cameras to implement in their arsenal, so to speak, of ensuring that the community policing is working.
Opening doors to hope and opportunity, the 100 sphere of positive impact continues to soar exponentially through the work of a network of role models and mentors who care enough to listen to mentees who dare enough to dream.
To be able to stand over and say that I have had an opportunity to participate and contribute to the betterment of someone else's life is something that's, you just cannot put a value on.
When I see Kenneth, I think about where he was and where he is. And I think about the village. I think about, in this country, what the 100 is all about. It's a village.
I'm totally grateful for the 100's patience, and vision in me, or belief in me, to see something that I didn't necessarily back then, that I'm starting to actually finally see now and believe in now. So, again, thank you.